I could point out all the things about how bad this life can seem, but we work hard, we making it forward motion on everything.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to FourWords Monday. It's your boy Valet Delroy coming to you straight from Valet Central, of course. So I'm on break. I took all my work trinkets off so that I could come talk to you guys real quick. So we're gonna move pretty quick, but we're gonna get through this pretty quick. I got a few definitions for you, and we're gonna see how all this connects. All right. It's FourWords Monday, week 48. Okay. Get closer to 52. We're talking about finances now, and today my title was social class and your worth. So just to steer this in the right direction, since we don't have as much time, I'm really going to be talking about standard of living and quality of life, but social class and worth kind of tie into this whole living to be known and how we can move forward and help each other get better. You feel me? So let's just start off. So social class and what you're worth. So let's first, I'm just going to talk about worth. I'm not talking about specific monetization of a person. I'm not talking about how much is your life worth, because life has no monetary value as far as I'm concerned. Not my life, not your life, not the life of my loved ones. So, worth. Worth is defined as the equivalent in value to the sum or item specified, or the value equivalent to that of someone or something under consideration, or the level at which someone or something deserves to be valued or rated. Okay, you hear that word? The level at which someone or something deserves to be valued or rated. Okay, so we're talking about things like deserve now, and we're not going to really get into that because, as far as I'm concerned, we all deserve life, and we all deserve things that make our lives, okay, what all that they could be, as far as health, as far as wellness, as far as being taken care of with all our basic needs, most definitely. Okay, so that's worth. Okay, so now that we've looked at worth, let's talk about social class, right? Typically, social class is broken down into your upper, middle, lower class, right? You got your like upper class, 1%, your like middle upper class, your lower upper class, and you got like your upper middle class, and your lower middle class. You know, those fall in like suburban context, and then you have like your underclass, what some call it, but what I would like to call like the lower class, or those living in or under the poverty line, which would fall at a certain level. So, right, this is all based on some kind of financial and social atmosphere as far as we're concerned, right? So, when we talk about social classes, we're talking about falling into brackets of people who make or live in affluent areas based on their monetary value or availability, we'll say. Okay, social class, just that'll be our blanket. So, how do we attach social class and worth? Now, we cannot say individually for every person who might be in an upper tier or an upper class because they have access to or deal with things that are considerably worth more value, that they become more valuable, or for like of their businesses or their jobs or their prestige or their insurance, right? They have a value, and individually we understand each person has their own outlook and everybody values life. But there's this kind of stigma that amongst the social classes, those who are in the upper classes devalue, right? They find less worth. They rate those who are in lower classes at less worth. But interesting enough, it happens vice versa. Those who live in lower class areas would say that they would devalue those who live in upper class lifestyles with less worth. And why? It all based on perspective, of course, right? How people treat each other, how we live, right? What do we believe? What do we know? What do we practice, right? How our relationships, our communication, our finance, all those things fit into living to be known and how we're going to be known and how people see us and how we know each other and how our perspective attaches worth and to people based on their social class, right? And a lot of this has to do with finances, right? Where we fall in the financial bracket of our classing. Now, what does that have to do with how we see ourselves and how we see others when it comes to our standard of living or our quality of life? Now, quickly, I'll define the two, okay, just to show the difference. When I'm talking about a standard of living, right, in the quick definition, standard of living refers to the level of wealth, comfort, and material goods and necessities available to a certain socio-economic class in a certain area. Okay? When we talk about quality of life, we're talking about the standard of health, comfort, happiness, and the experience of an individual or group. Okay? So when we talk about quality of life, we're talking about being healthy, being happy, being safe, right? Things that cover our basic needs and desires. And then when we talk about standard of living, we're mostly talking about materialistic affluency. Now, why is this such a big deal? Why is there so much ruckus about social classes and worth? Well, for one, when we look at each other, we perceive certain things, right? If you're someone who doesn't own a business, doesn't have a good job, doesn't make a lot of money, and you don't live in an affluent area, right? And you're seen with the top gadgets and the top... Hold on, y'all. Woo! See, that's why you ain't got much time. Now, if you come from one of those areas and you're seen with the best everything, but your situation, right, is still not so well, what we're saying is that you are trying to attain or maintain a high standard of living, right, with materialistic things that make you look or feel more valued in the eyes of those in social classes who attach certain wealth to you. But your quality of life, right, are you comfortable, are you happy, are you safe, are you healthy, may not be so well. And that's just something to think about, right? That's what we're talking about today. Social class and work. When we're looking at each other and we're looking at our lives and living to be known and doing well and being the best that we can be and help each other move forward, right? Shouldn't we care about the quality of life no matter what social class you fall into? Shouldn't our worth all be the same when it comes to what we want as far as health, what we want as far as comfort, where we live and how we live, and happiness and our experience in our own lives and in the lives of our family and friends and everyone else? Isn't quality of life the highest worth of a human life, no matter what social class you may fall under? The problem is that a lot of us have not a proper view, or maybe no view at all, of our standard of living, right? You can be in a very affluent, wealthy position and live at a high standard, right, materialistically, but your quality of life be dirty. You could be someone who doesn't have the latest gadgets, doesn't have the latest fashion, rides the bus. Not to say that there's any problem with that, because I love public transportation. I do it all the time. But, regular life, like, I don't have the best car. Some people will say I don't have the best job, even though I think I do. Some people will say I don't have the time and opportunity and all these different things that come with being wealthy or having materialistic value or living at a high standard, right, standard of life. But my quality of life is amazing. The people in my life, the things that I'm able to do, and where I'm at, the choices that I make, I love it. So my quality of life is high, and my standard of living, is actually, in my eyes, pretty high also. The whole point is that class doesn't matter, right? Your prestige. The whole point is that, our worth is all the same. The whole point is that the quality of life for all of us is what we're trying to attain, right? Health, happiness, love, good experiences. But one thing we may need to get in order, which affects our finances, is our standard of living. If you don't got money like that, you shouldn't be trying to look like that. You don't need to look like that, right? You can still look good. You can still look well put together. You do not need to spend $300, $400, $500 on an outfit, on a car note that is unnecessary, on a home that just gives you space for just to say you have space. Like, you're wasting money. You're trying to live at a high standard, and your quality of life is suffering from it. Maybe it's time to take a step back, re-examine our lives, say what's going to give me the best quality of living in my life, and then adjust our standards, right, the standard of living, to a place where we can be comfortable, to a place where we can move and be fine and not have to worry, because we're not going to be judging each other's worth by our social class, by our materialistic value, okay, but rather on the fact that we all value life, we all value each other, and we all want that quality of life. This is Delroy, Valet Delroy, and this is Living to Be Known. I love you guys. Hope you love me. Stick with me. Stay with me. Next week, we're talking about finances again, of course, but we'll really start talking about some money. I just wanted to kind of lay a foundation as to financial outlook, right, when it comes to social class, when it comes to work, when it comes to standard of living and quality of life, because the decisions we make, what we believe, what we know, what we practice, our relationships with people and businesses and organizations in the world, how we communicate, and then how we put our finances in order is how we are going to be living to be known. And it's how we'll know each other. How I know you is how you know me. It's just a factor of life, but we're just trying to make that better. I love you guys. I'm going to get back to work. Yeah.
And I could point out all the things about how bad this life can seem, but we work hard, we making it, forward motion on everything.